I think we can just start by saying what's up. So do you want to do it? You go this
Sure.
time and then I'll do next time.
Okay. Thank you. Well, hi guys. Welcome to Case the Mondays. I'm Ashton.
And I'm Jordan.
And so basically this podcast, it's not like the normal living your life in your 20s, because me and Jordan kind of realized that we don't really have a lot going on. People are really interested in us, which is totally cool. No, but we call each other every day and it's always complaining about something that happened at work, or, oh my God, this person I worked with, something, an update on Facebook. So we figured what's better than sharing terrible stories from terrible jobs.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think for some reason, this came to me like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And I feel
In a dream.
In a dream, maybe, I don't know, or just like we like bitch a lot, or we like
Yeah.
tell stories of other people bitching. And then
Well, there's no drama in my life, so this is it.
Yes, like we work from home. We're in this society where like we all work from home now. Like, you know, when we were in office, there was always like the guy that fell asleep at his desk, or like there was that office hookup, or like there was, someone selling Monster Energy drinks out of their desk at work. Like that's crazy.
Now it's so hard working from home, figuring out like, are you guys still you send flirty teams, or like who got divorced? Like what's
there's no drama, right?
So, I know,
like,
the worst.
Yeah. Well, I thought the first question we could do is just like introduce ourselves. Cause I mean, like maybe only mom listens to this, but maybe people that don't know us listen to this, and they should probably know who we are, you know? So, okay. My name's Jordan. I live in Kansas City, Missouri.
Are you going to give your address too?
Nope. Absolutely not.
Kidding.
Nope.
I'm just kidding.
Nope. You can follow me.
What's
on
your
Instagram,
social?
Baby. You know what? We're gonna save that for next episode. I'll give you
gotta follow up, people.
I have a toddler. He is not even 2 yet. But he was the hit of Ashton's birthday party last weekend. So
he's the best.
Yes,
it was his party,
and I'm the older sister. So yeah, so that's me. I am Jordan, and then you can give your whatever. If I said, "Who are you?" What do you say? What would you tell someone who said, "Who are you?"
What is Kim Kardashian, that quote where she's like, Kanye is an artist, a visionary, and that's me. No, I'm Ashton. I turn 25 tomorrow. Very excited. So I'm in St. Louis, lived in Portland for a year, just kind of hopping around, living my life. But yeah,
so you're kind of a gypsy, really.
Yeah, kind of homeless. I have a roommate who is my boyfriend, Gypsy Rose. Pretty fun. Nothing exciting. Actually, Jordan was so nice. My whole family came and surprised us in St. Louis last weekend for my birthday. I had no idea. But everyone, including myself and my boyfriend's family, all thought he was going to propose, and he didn't. And he was like, "Why, Ashton, why is everything I'm going to propose?" I'm like, because like 20 people are here. And like, it's like out of
you invited her entire family,
like
including
grandparents,
a nuss and 2-year-old all the way to St. Louis.
Yeah.
And we were like, maybe.
No.
He's like, well, it's just a birthday. And we're like, well, you're kind of at that point where you've been together long enough to where you should like, should probably be talking about it. Yeah. So, so we when I was thinking about this, I was like, you know, I have had a lot of weird jobs in my life, like random weird jobs. I've worked at a popcorn stand.
I forget how many jobs you've had. I've only had a couple. And so I'm very excited to hear your stories. Like I've
never gotten fired. Let's just put it out there. I've never gotten fired. It's always just like, oh, I worked at a popcorn stand at like, for like a soccer team, or like,
you're a hustler.
Here. Yes. I worked here, but then I also worked here at the same time. And like, through college, I definitely had a lot of odd jobs. So a lot of weird stories from those, because I think I'm a people watcher, and I don't know. I just enjoy being like, oh, that guy looks odd. Wonder what his story is.
I would love to work with him.
I would love to work with that guy. He has a ponytail. Everyone has a story, including that man. So
especially that man. Oh my God. Well, I'm so excited to get into this. Do you want me to start first? Because I think we should finish with you, because
you think mine's Peyton, better?
Absolutely. When you were telling me on the phone, I was like, stop telling me, because like these are so good and I want to be surprised. So I'll just get into mine first. Let me catch my breath.
No, you're good. Okay. So I told Ashton here, and I think the big part of this podcast is it doesn't matter what job it is. And it doesn't have to be a shitty job. Like, I think even at our current jobs, there's funny shit that happens all over the place, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care if you're in the construction industry. I don't care if you're in an office setting. I don't care if you work at a fast food restaurant. You have a story to tell about work, and there's endless content. So we're going to dive into it. So Asha, why don't you go ahead?
Sweet. So I'm going to start with my very first job, which I was a little bit of a late bloomer. I'll admit, mom and dad were very kind to me.
Spoiled.
Youngest, amazing. I was more the entertainment. So, I was busy, like it's fine. No, but my very first job I got right out of high school. And I'm not going to give like the actual name of the company because like I really did love it. I worked with a lot of really cool people. Also worked with a lot of like crazy people, but basically this job, I was like essentially a camp counselor. So mom and dad, if they listen to this, they're going to be really proud of me and us because like I really did not drink or party in high school. And this job was just bragging how not exciting I was.
How not fun we are.
How not fun. You too. Whatever. It was mom and dad, so it's their fault. So I get this job. I'm all excited because I had been going to these camps like all through high school. Like I totally idolized the staff members. And then when I got the opportunity to do that, I'm like, oh my God, it's kind of like the Disney magic. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I get to I get to do this for like kids that when I was in their shoes, this is all I wanted to do. So I finally got like, at the time, I'm not going to call it my dream job, but it was super cool. Every year before like starting your camps, all the staff members would get together and do like a whole entire week where we're practicing the material, kind of just like learning how to do the job and like the do's and don'ts. And that was when I realized that there are a lot of not normal people that do this job, that like this is their life. And I'm like, oh, I thought this was just like a fun college thing.
But like you thought there were going to be cool people doing this job, but you were like,
yeah,
oh, there's like weird people doing this job.
Specifically the people who like I looked up to, I was now working with. And then like, like you see their true colors and you're like, oh my God, I saw like the Disney princess, like out of makeup. Not like that. Anyway, this one girl specifically,
situation, right? Yeah.
A little similar. You're just like, oh, these people are like people too. But specifically, so the girl that actually recruited me, we're going to call her Sarah. But so she was my camp counselor my senior year. Loved her. Oh my God. I thought she was amazing. So cool. So talented. Literally, I'm like, I want to be this lady when I grow up. And she's like 24 at the time. Like that was a grown up to me because I'm 18. And so we get to work week and it's night one and everyone's like, oh my God, welcome, like party. And like I said, I did not like drink or do anything in high school. And so I'm talking to this girl. She's like, oh my God, I'm so happy you're here. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you, Sarah. Like, I'm so happy that you recruited me. This is going to be amazing. And she's like, do you want a shot? And I'm like, what?
We're here to work with kids.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm 18. Like we have to go do stuff tomorrow. And I'm like, and so she hands me, oh God, I keep bumping it. She hands me a giant like Svedka nasty thing and a huge Gatorade. Yes. And and I'm like, Sarah, like, what do I do? And she's like, oh my God, Ashton, please. And she's like, you do the chaser, you do the shot, and then the chaser again. Like she literally taught me. And I'm like, you were my idol.
It's like if Barney taught you how to, right? Barney taught you how to take shots. And you were like, what? Barney?
Kind of traumatizing. And I was like, Mom, can you pick me up? And so anyway, so that happens. Anyway, like, of course, like, amazing like week, like it was so freaking fun. And I worked later on a camp with that girl, and she was nice, but she would like constantly smoke cigarettes on the hotel balcony.
Shut up. So she also she was like the Disney princess that smoked on her breaks.
Yeah, pretty hardcore. And I remember thinking like, there's campers outside. Like, are the campers gonna see you? And she's like in full uniform, like not even hiding it. And I'm
full uniform, just like it's fine, kids.
Ripping them. Yeah. Yeah. So that's when I realized I was like, I only did this job for 2 years. That's when I realized I'm like, okay, maybe this like isn't for me. Maybe I'm not gonna be the people that like work this job for 10 years. Okay, I'll talk about Tom. Tom is a good one.
I've been interested about Tom. So Ashley has this note in here. It just says Tom with some vague details. And I've been like, who is Tom? So please tell me who Tom is.
Oh my God. So like Sarah, another interesting human. Tom is his real name. I don't know his last name, and I really don't care because
question before you keep going. So this job is traveling to schools and like kind of coaching, mentoring kids in their activity all over the place. So anyways, Tom. Yeah, so that's important. Like
that's important to Tom's story. So Tom is a very interesting human. So like Jordan said, for this job, you had to travel around to different camps and kind of like teach these kids. And he was really good at that. But like after camp shut down, he was literally so horrible. One night at dinner, I'm talking to Tom and he's like, so Ashton, like you go to Mizzou. Like I went to Mizzou. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So I'm thinking like, he has been so mean to all the rookies, but like, this is something we have in common. Also for the specific camp, I was working with my really good friend from high school and another rookie. And through the summer, we had become like really good friends. So I'm all excited. I'm like, oh yes, like the three of us are back together again. Like this is going to be so fun. And we're with like everyone else on the camp had either been there for like 5 to 10 years, including Tom. Tom had been there for a very long time. And so I'm like, oh yes, like he went to Mizzou. He's going to like me now. It's great. No, he was like, oh, so you're from Kansas City? I'm like, oh yeah. Are you from Missouri as well? Like where do you live right now? And he was like, well, you know, the great thing about this job is that you can stack your camps. So like, I just have so many camps this summer that like, I'm just hopping around from like place to place. And then if I don't have a camp, I live at a friend's house in the area or my car. And my friend was like, so you're homeless? And he's like, well, no, like I'm literally saving so much on rents. And we're like, but you live out of your car. Like, how do you do laundry?
Well,
like
this is strictly like a summer job. This isn't like a he travels 100% for work. It's like truly just for a 3-month period. They hire people to do this.
Absolutely.
So he's just, I mean, I get like lining up a lot of camps, but it's like, this is not like a permanent job where you could like do that. There's not like per diem involved, really. It's like, it's just, that's very strange. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So interesting. And so I think he didn't like that when we questioned, like, how are you doing laundry? Like, are you nasty? Like, do you shower? Anyway, so we keep going through camp and it's like a 3 or 4 day ordeal. And so by the second to last day, me and the girls are done. Like we are so tired of getting bullied by these old people. And it wasn't just Tom. Like there was another girl that worked this camp and she was such a bee. She was horrible.
Wait, so Tom was mean too.
Tom was so mean.
He was mean.
No, Tom, no. You have to be like actually nice to the kids. So he was good with the kids.
Okay.
But like total different person when he was talking to his coworkers. And I was like,
ew.
Yes.
What a jerk. Why?
Absolute jerk. And that's how, I don't know, these older people, they just thought like, oh, these rookies, because that's how they were quote unquote taught. And so they're like
this is not a fraternity. This is a job. Like grow up.
Oh, I'll get into it. And so by the second to last day, camp ends and they had gotten mad. Oh, I remember they got mad at us for something because like I was wearing a backpack that was a different brand, which like, yeah, bad on me. Just like slap me on the wrist. But they were like, we should fire you on the spot. And I was like,
you're not my
excuse
boss.
me. I'm like, well, you need me tomorrow. Of course, at the time, I'm actually really nice, but I was just like, oh, sorry. And then they had gotten mad at the other two girls for like something kind of similar. So second to last day, camp ends, we're done. And we're like, God, these people suck, whatever. Like, can't wait to go home. And they don't text us. Very important to the story is they don't text us at all that night. So final day comes, we finish camp. We're all excited. We're like, yeah, like this is one of our last camps of the summer. Like we crushed it. Good job. High fives. And we pack everything up. And then the older people, specifically Tom, is like, we need to have a conversation with you guys. And we're like, okay, like what's up? Like I thought we did really good final day. Like everyone was the kids were all hyped up. Kids were having fun. Isn't that the most important part? And Tom says, the way you keep this job is by having fun with the staff. And by that, he means, and he literally said, he was like, the last night of camp is a sacred night. You guys did not drink with us. You guys did not party with us
Sacred.
last
Meanwhile, you're in
night.
like a bumfuck nowhere town in the middle of Nebraska or God knows where.
Yes.
In a little area you have no idea. And he wants you to go to some seedy hotel and party with him after he's been mean to you
after
all
he's been
day.
bullying us all week.
What?
Literally. And he was like, the way you keep this job is by drinking with us. And I'm like, first of all, I'm underage. So I should call the police on you, Mr.
That's
Homeless
creepy.
Man. Where's your car? Yeah.
Where's your car?
Yeah. It was horrible. It was so bad. These people that I thought were like my role models, like want to be just like them, were so freaking mean. And so then I did not do that job. But yeah, really funny stories from it. Just very interesting.
Honestly, yeah, because it's like
people.
this last week of camp is sacred. Or was it just sacred to Tom, right? Like it's like
I think it was Tom, because he literally thought kind of that fraternity aspect, like literally thought he was the coolest guy ever. And I'm like, are you hazing us? And they're like, don't use that word. So
and it's like, homie, this is a job, not a fraternity. Like
I'm literally trying to get a check. Also, I thought this was for the kids. I thought you kept this job by being
this is
kind
for the kids.
to children. Yes. Horrible. I'm just trying to make some dreams come true.
Yeah. Like you're like, I'm just trying to like teach this kid some cheer skills. And then like you guys are out here teaching cheers during the day, like, you know, partying and smoking cigs at night, and then get mad at me for not participating. Like it's
like if you're gonna be mad at me, I'll be like, well, Tom was drunk this morning at camp. Like,
yeah, Tom's like hungover at camp. Like, what the hell? And he didn't even invite you. They didn't even invite you to the party.
Exactly. And that's what because I was very nice, you know, in the moment, like I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm like, you know what? Just like, I'm going to go home soon. It's going to be fine. I'm going to whatever live. Tom's still going to be living out of his car. At least I have a bed to go to. But at the moment, my friend, literally loser. But luckily my friend, she was a little more mouthy than I was. But she was like, you guys didn't text us. And they're like, you should have texted us. And we were like, we didn't know there was a party going on. Also, you guys are mean. So peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'd be like, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you would have at least texted us, we got the invite, but don't tell me it's a sacred ritual when like you didn't even text me. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And there was like a nicer older girl who I really enjoyed, and she was on this camp. And I think she did feel a little bad because she was like, look, like you guys don't have to drink, but like you're supposed to hang out with the staff on the final night. And I'm like, no one told us this. And no one like
show me the handbook, right?
I don't
show me the handbook.
Yeah. Do I just show up to your room and knock? No, that would have been weird. And you probably would have told us to go away.
Weird.
Yeah, very weird. Very mean older brother, older sister vibes.
Gross. Okay, that's a good story. I like that one. Tom is a weirdo. Ew.
Horrible. Yeah. And I'm like, you went to college. How are you homeless? Maybe because he only does this job.
Like he only works 3 months. Like, what a weirdo.
But yeah, so that was a couple stories from my first job. And there's a few more if you guys want to hear them.
We'll bring them out later. I think we'll bring them out. I like it. We're doing good. So, all right. I guess I'll go next. And then I have a bonus story at the end if we have time. And with this, I think I'll tell like a couple of the highlights, and then we can always tell other stories and come back. So, okay. So it wasn't my first job, but it was my second job.
But it was the best one.
It's the best. And we have a great story. So, and I'll just say it so I worked for Subway in high school. So
you're going to get canceled by the Subway community.
You know what? Honestly, I'm not, I felt like, cause I did debate this. Like, I was like, can I say I work for Subway or not? But to be honest, I'm really not talking bad on Subway. Like, I'm really not talking bad about the business itself because honestly, there is Subways, literally so many freaking Subways in the United States.
You can't nail it down to the one that you were at.
But can't nail me down for that one. But also it's actually a very well-ran company. I will say, I will not talk crap on Subway. And I will always say the place I work for, as long as I'm not going to talk bad on the management or the way the company was ran. It's more just the people I worked with. I have funny stories about. So Subway is a company, good company. I will say it was very clean. At least the one I worked at.
I don't think they're going to sue you. I don't think they're going to.
No, I don't think they are. I'm just saying this is why I'm okay saying the name, not talking about on Subway. So I'll just tell a couple stories from Subway. I have a lot because it was I only worked there for 9 months. I look back and I only worked there for 9 months, and I literally
thought it was a couple of years. Oh my God.
No, it was like 9 months because it was my senior year of high school. And so here's what happened. So my boyfriend at the time, which is now my husband, we met at our first job at Jason's Deli. We literally left Jason's Deli, which if you don't know what Jason's Deli is, it's like a nicer sandwich place. I wouldn't say it's a nice restaurant.
You glue up, but yeah,
it seems like a step down, but hear me out. Okay. So we worked at Jason's Deli, which had weird shifts. Like sometimes they'd schedule us for like a 2-hour shift or like a 4-hour shift, whatever. And it was strictly minimum wage, right? And it was a deli, like you went to the register and ordered, but then like we would bring your food out to you or whatever. We had a salad bar or whatever. But our true thing was just like that. We had met there, we started dating, and honestly, we weren't getting great hours, you know, especially in the summer. Like we were like, God, this sucks. Like I have all this time to like make some money and like I'm not. So the Subway in the same shopping center was hiring and they were hiring for like $1 more an hour. Like I would say it was like close to $9 an hour, which was like big. It was big money back in 2011 or whatever it was. So I was like, oh yeah, we should try to apply way, you know, maybe we'll get a job together. That would be cool to work together again, you know.
Little did you know.
We got hired, you know, like immediately because they were like, wow, they're super normal people. So
as opposed to the people that got booted out.
That got booted. Yeah, Ashley knows where I'm going with this. So I found this out later, but just to keep the timeline of events going. So I found out later on, we got hired because there were two people that worked there before us that had been hooking up in the back room while working
next to the meat.
like the Subway is not big. Let me just tell you, it's like the front area. And then you have your like line that makes the sandwiches. And then that back room, when they walk to the back, is very small. So that same table, they prepped all the veggies on. Yeah. So
I
always clean the table because like I didn't know what the hell happened there the night before. So
yeah,
I cleaned that crap. And there are cameras everywhere. Everyone that works in a Subway knows that there's cameras everywhere you work because you're trusting 16-year-old kids to open and close a restaurant alone. You know, so there's cameras everywhere that can be accessed by the management at any point in time. These people just straight up didn't care. I guess they were just like banging it out, you know, at their closing shifts, like in their Subway uniforms, being all weird. I don't know.
Smelling like bread.
So, it's like, yeah,
God.
I don't know. I didn't know these people. I have no idea what their names are. Nothing. I just know that had happened. So they fired them. There's a couple of people that, you know, I don't know if they were like smoking pot in the back or whatever was going on, fired. So they were like, oh my God, some normal kids. We don't care if you guys are dating. You seem normal. Just, you know,
like you really
don't
won't
be weird
do
in the
that.
back. You don't seem like you're going to do that. So, and sure enough, when we got hired, they also had hired a couple of like kids that were into like their church, like youth groups and stuff. Like, so like kids that were involved in school, we were all really normal. And honestly, everybody did their job. They mopped at the end of the night. They did all their stuff. It actually ended up being good. So first impressions of Subway, my first manager, he was my boss for a week. I'm not even kidding you.
A week?
So a week. I'm not kidding. He interviewed us and then he was gone. And we had separate interviews. It wasn't like I walked in with my boyfriend and was like, give us a job. No, like we applied separately, like normal people. So first off, first impression, first day, I noticed, and this is not trying to make fun of like disabilities or deformities or anything, but this guy he didn't have any thumbs. Like he was just born that way, I guess. And this man could make a sandwich faster than anyone I know or I've ever met. Honestly, I'm more impressed, honestly. And like, you have to cut the bread, right? Like I was like, how's he going to cut the bread? Dude, he did. Like he had the full, he was able to cut the sandwiches, like all of it. I was like, man, let's call him Jerry. Jerry was cool. Like I was like, man, he's a cool guy, pretty chill, whatever. Okay. So this is Peyton's first day working, right? So he's working with Jerry and he's teaching him the swing of things, right? Like he's like getting to know him, whatever. Like I'm not kidding, maybe an hour into his shift, the cops show up and they're like, is your name Jerry? Whatever, right? And he's like, yeah. What can I help you with? And they're like, yeah, you're under arrest for embezzlement.
Of the Subway?
Yeah. Of the Subway.
Oh my God.
Jerry was sliding some change.
No.
Jerry was sliding some change from the register.
Oh my
taking
God.
that home. Yeah, he was high rolling.
I was curious.
So.
I was like, he was only there a week. Like, What
Yeah.
happened?
So Peyton
my
then is
God.
like alone, and he's like, "So what do I do?
I don't know how to
And
make the sandwiches.
Yeah, Peyton calls me. He's like, "So what do I? It's like day one. Like, what do I do?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Well, I have the girl's number. That was the assistant that I worked
Mhm.
with. She's super cool. Her name. She won't mind if I use her name because we're still friends. But Ashley, I think
Yeah.
I was like, call her. Like, she'll come up, or either she did come. Like, something happened to where she
Yeah.
came up or whatever. She ended up being our manager from then on out. And actually, I love her, and so we actually still talk. So I know she won't mind if I use her name. So if we
Yeah.
want to hear more Subway stories in the future, I think Ashley would come on.
She
because
was so cool. She's so funny.
She's so funny, and she has like 3 kids now, and like she reached out when I had Miller, so we've
Yeah.
talked, and she used to like put like Subway memes on my Facebook wall, and like we still laugh about it. So
Love
but yeah,
Subway.
so it worked out that Jerry got fired. It's still funny,
Yeah.
right?
I cannot believe your first day and you're like, who are these people? And it's like a nice area. Like it was a nice Subway. I cannot believe that.
Isn't that wild? Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
So it's like the next part that was funny. So I have 2 more parts about Subway that are pretty funny. So everybody, like I said, like, you know, we hired like some church kids, like we were really involved in sports. So we were like really good high school kids. And so we had like a good groove going. We had one girl that worked there that was typical Subway employee. Like, you know, like every small town Subway you see, like she just looks like she's like high every shift. Like she's just seedy, right? She shows up an hour late, like every shift, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, can we fire her? Like she sucks, whatever, but she shows up enough to keep her job. And like, you know, Peyton now, like Peyton then very clearly was like, would call her out like, hey, thanks for showing up an hour late. Like we're working alone during this crazy lunch shift. Thank you. So like she would get all pissed off, you know, or whatever. And like, of course she was like, you know, you're an asshole because you called me out for not showing up on time. And he's like, excuse
you
me?
left me.
Yeah. And so anyways, she really didn't like most of us there. She really didn't like anybody there. And so Peyton was like, I hate this girl. Like, I can't wait till we're done with this place, whatever, you know. So fast forward to 5 years down the road, like we're adults now. Peyton is getting his first apartment, right? And guess who his next door neighbor is? The apartment was Sally from Subway.
Oh, did she recognize him?
No, I think they recognized each other, and it was like we both don't like each other.
Don't speak to me.
We don't like each other because you sucked at Subway. And
oh my God, that is so funny.
So
did he still work at Subway?
I don't know, but it was very clear that he moved in and within 2 days was like, guess who is my next door neighbor? And I was like, oh my God, that's funny. Horrible. That's super funny. So
that is so funny.
My last person from Subway I do remember is, I'm going to call him Don. Don showed up. They hired him when he knew that like they knew a bunch of us were like going to college, right? So Don shows up day 1. I'm not kidding. This man, a lot of tattoos, which I really like tattoos actually. I think they're cool. But now like face tattoos and like things that could be like job killers, right? I think like you have to be like a Post Malone or like someone that can have face tattoos, right?
Yeah.
So this guy, not that, you know what I mean? I don't think Don should have face tattoos because Don is applying for a sandwich artist job at Subway.
Sandwich artist? That was the title?
Sandwich artist is the job title. I should have started with that. But
I love that.
Don is a sandwich artist at Subway. Starts at Subway, right? He gets a job. And day 1, he's like, I'm going to be the CEO of Subway someday. And I'm like, what? I mean, who walks into any job day 1 and says that? Like,
go off.
I'm going to be your boss. I'm going to be your boss. I'm going to be your boss. And we're
take it down. Go straight to the top.
You have yet to made one sandwich. Like, first of all, let me just throw that out there.
Oh my God.
And meanwhile, Don is very, very intense. So his kids' names, I'm not kidding you, his children who are like toddlers at this point, their names are Riot and Havoc. And I'm just like, send sink in. Those are verbs, not names.
And I feel like if you want, like, that's not like maybe they're very nice children, but I'm just thinking like if I'm a teacher and I see Havoc in my class, like, oh my God, Havoc, you're kidding me.
Can you please calm down?
Riot, we're going to use our inside voices.
Riot.
Oh Riot. Oh
And
my
my
God.
dumbass is like, is that short for something?
Is it a
No.
family name?
Why would it be short for something? And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna ask any more questions.
Oh
from
my, I'm not
you.
gonna speak to you. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that is so funny.
Yeah. So I mean, I was like, and you know what, Dawn, like, no offense, but I just think if you have face tattoos, like large face tattoos, I hope you make it to CEO level, but my confidence
I'm rooting
is
for
very
you.
low. My
Yeah.
confidence is very low.
Oh my God.
When we have other candidates that maybe like don't have that problem, but
Mhm.
you know, I wish you the best. And
Oh my God.
so yeah, so that's the extent of my Subway stories for now. But I think if we
Mhm.
want to revisit it, we can, because I probably could come up with more.
We will be revisiting the Subway.
The Subway is interesting because I have a lot of stories from there. So
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I might as well tell my last story for Peyton.
I've been really excited
Okay.
about this one. I've been super
and it's
excited.
quick, but it's funny. So
okay,
so I'll give you a backstory, because I think when we tell these jobs, I think it's important to kind of just explain the job and like what it entailed, right? Like when I said I worked at Subway, you know that I made sandwiches for people, and like that was it, right? So so my husband, he works in the construction field. He's a union sheet metal worker. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, so he does like, you know, I don't know, like a lot of, he puts up HVAC and like ductwork. Yeah, I know, I need a soundboard. Wham wham sheet metal. Yeah, that's what I need. He's gonna love this. By the way, I asked if we could interview him, and he said absolutely not. So
come on, grow up.
But he said, I don't think Clayton would like us interviewing him either. So this is why. So his work, he works construction, so he has a very different like work stories than like what we have, which I think is kind of what we want to make this show, is like, it's not just office stories or like high school job stories. Like I want to hear about the guy that like cleans out porta potties, the guy that's like works construction, and the guy that, you know, like I want to hear about all of it, because I think there's so many stories from different perspectives that like we just don't see every day. So
many stories where you're like, wait, someone did that at work and they still have that job.
Yes,
what?
Exactly. In this, we're going to get into this, because you're going to be like, who the hell is Ricky, and why does he still have a job?
Oh, no.
So
no, Ricky, no.
So my husband works construction. And if you know anything about the construction industry, or you don't, I'll just tell you that, you know, whether you're a union and you make like, you know, boatloads of money, or you work non-union, or you just work for some no-ho contractor making $10 an hour, I don't know. People are very not professional. And I don't care what level you're at in that. It's just dudes being gross and being dudes, you know? And if you're female on the site, you just kind of got to deal with it. That's my consensus I've gotten from the whole thing. And you get people that are like ex-cons, people that are like from different walks of life, right? So, and Peyton tells these stories like they are so nonchalant. And I'm like, excuse me, I need more detail on this. So when he told me this story, I needed as many details as possible, because I was peeing my pants. And I hope Ashton pees her pants when she hears the story. So this happened a couple years ago. So Peyton's on a job with a guy I'm going to call Ricky. Ricky is the dude that he maybe dabbles in the meth. We don't really know if he dabbles in the meth or not, but we don't really care, because he does his job. And this is what I mean about the construction field. If you do the job and you do it well, they really don't give a shit what you do in your personal life. So Ricky apparently is a hell of a hand. He does his job, whatever. So they put up with the fact that he's a little flaky. So Ricky was having a stint where he didn't want to show up a whole lot. So Ricky, he had been missing a couple days here and there, whatever. And he goes to the foreman one day and he's like, hey boss, this is how Peyton, he's like, hey boss, I got to go home. I got the shits. And he's like, first of all, let's just pause. Have you ever gone to your boss and said, I have to go home, I have the shits?
No, I literally can't imagine. Even when I was in the office, actually, I have a fear of this. And so when I was in the office, I would have like an extra pair of jeans in my trunk that I like literally never wore.
In your car?
In my car, just in case, like I had my period or something. But I couldn't imagine being like, I pooped my pants, I have to go.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could never just be like, hey boss, I got the shits. Like, I just would never. I would make up any other lie before I said I pooped my pants. Like, I'm going to poop my pants.
So when he said I have the shit, like he already did it.
Yet. No. He just said, I'm nervous, I'm going to poop my pants.
Oh no.
I got the shits, I gotta go home. And I'm gonna just say Joe, the foreman, is like, Ricky, you've been missing a lot lately. I'm not letting you go home. You've been missing work all over the place. Like, I
Yeah,
need you
this
here
sounds like
today.
a pun intended BS excuse.
Yes, exactly. And so it's like, Ricky, I just can't let you go home. You've been missing a lot of work. I need you here today, whatever. And he's like, you know what, boss? You're right. You're right. You know what? I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to be here all day. I'll be here all day for you, Joe. Whatever. Like, he's like, I'm going to prove myself today. Right. So
that's something you're able to.
So literally, he takes it to heart. He's like, no, boss, I'm going to prove it to you. Ricky, like a couple hours later, Ricky wasn't lying. He does have the he has the shits, and he has the shits at work.
No,
literally, his pants are literally covered in shit. But you know what, Ricky? He kept his word to his foreman, and he
please
worked
go
in those
home.
pants. He worked in those pants till 3:30.
At what time did he poop his pants?
Payne said it was around lunchtime. Like, he worked a half a day in those pants.
And they were visibly brown.
Visibly
Oh my
brown,
God, Ricky.
all up and down. Ricky.
Up it. Oh my
But
God.
you know what? Ricky's a man of his word.
He
And
really
worked that
is.
whole day.
Oh my God. I'm speechless. I think that's it. Wow.
I think we have to end the episode.
That's it. That's the one. That's the winner.
You know, be a Ricky, but I think there's certain situations.
Poop your
where you
pants and stay at work. Don't change those pants ever.
Yeah, like, don't even go to try to change or buy new pants. Just keep working.
Be like, I'll be gone for an hour. I'll be back. No. He's probably like, that'll teach Joe. Oh my God. That is so bad. That's so funny.
I really, this is why I didn't give Ashton notes before this, but let's end it on that. Ricky,
amazing. I love it.
All right.
So
well,
funny.
I think our plan going forward is we have like a couple more stories from friends or from each other that we're going to do a couple episodes on. And then I think going forward, we need to make an Instagram or something, and
we'll figure it out. Whatever.
We'll figure
if you
it out
know
eventually.
me, DM us on Instagram if you're
Yes,
friends with
thank
us.
you.
'Cause
Text
I
us
really
if
wanna...
you know us. Yeah, text us if you personally know us.
If you don't know us, no. No, I'm excited to see other people's stories. 'Cause I'm sure actually I was talking to one of our friends who is a teacher, and she was like, oh my God, like the things I've seen. So yeah, no, I'm so excited to hear everyone's stories.
Oh, I love it. All right. Well,
More
that's
poop
a wrap.
your pants.
Don't poop your pants. That's a wrap for Case of the Mondays. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Ashton. We'll see you guys next time.